Okay, so as far as documentation styles that you'll be using for essays, research papers, and everything in high school and college, there are two citation methods, essentially. So you have MLA, Modern Language Association, or you have APA, American Psychological Association. So APA you use for the sciences, math, etc., but MLA is used in humanities, including English. So we're going to go ahead and format this document in MLA. So basically, you have three elements. Okay, to MLA, you have the basic formatting, in-text citations, and the works cited page. So we're going to begin with basic formatting. Now, the first thing you should do, regardless of if you're in MLA, APA, very first thing you should do is set your font, just so you don't have to go back and, highlight everything and change the font later. So change your font to Times New Roman size 12, and make sure it's double spaced. So format, find spacing, double. Okay, so then I'm good with as far as my font goes for the entire document, except for the header. That's the one other place I need to change it. So to open the header, I'm just going to double click the top of the document. And here you see the default is Arial 11, so I'm going to change that to Times New Roman size 12 as well. Now once you do that, you can enter the information that we need in the header, which is going to include a page number. So you go to Insert, go down here to Page Number, and we want this very first top left square. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll see a 1 with the cursor immediately following the 1. Now, what you need to do is move that cursor in front of the 1. And then you're going to type your last name and a space. Okay, and then finally, what I need to do is just right align that. Okay? And then once you have your last name and the page number aligned to the right side of your document, you can go ahead and click out of the header. Okay? Easy enough. So the next item we need is, after we add our last name and page number in the header, we need to include our heading. So for our heading, for an MLA paper, we have 4 pieces of information that need to go in a specific order and be formatted a specific way. So the very first line is the student's name. So this student, you may have heard of him before. Okay, so you have student name, you have teacher name, the K, I think it is with a K. Maybe. Okay, so you have student name, teacher name, course name, and then the date. The date is formatted with your day. You write the month out, and then you write the entire year. Don't ask me why that's the preferred format for MLA. Just roll with it. Okay? So once you have your heading, you're going to hit enter once, and then you're going to go to center align, and this is where you're going to include your title. Now, note a few things. So the title is just basic text. It's Times New Roman size 12. We don't underline it. We don't italicize it. It's not bold. We don't enlarge the font. Okay, it's just basic Times New Roman size 12. Now, what I like to do is just, when I'm beginning a document, write title there as a placekeeper. And then typically, once I've finished writing, or I'm almost finished writing the paper, then it's easier to go back and think, okay, this would be a good title for this paper. Or maybe I even pull a line from the paper or essay and use that as the title. Sometimes you'll have a title in mind at the beginning of the paper, but not always. So what I do is put title here as a placeholder. Just don't forget to go back and change that. Okay, you don't want the title to be title. So what you may want to do is put title there and just highlight it so it sticks out like a sore thumb, and then it'll remind you to go back and change it. Okay? So, after my title, I'm just going to get rid of that highlighting. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter once, and then I'm going to go back to left align. So notice that between the different sections of the paper, I'm not hitting enter more than once. Okay, so that's part of the formatting. There's not a lot of wasted space. It's just hit enter, boom, on to the next section. So when you start your intro paragraph, all paragraphs get indented 5 spaces. So this is where my introductory paragraph goes. Now, what should go in the introductory paragraph, if you're, say, writing a literary analysis, you should write the author's first and last name, the name of the work that's being analyzed. You should state your thesis. All that goes in the intro paragraph, but that's another video. As we said at the top, there are 3 elements to an MLA formatted paper. We have our basic formatting, which we have set up essentially where we're good to go here. So we have our font double space, we have our header, we have our heading, title, and then we know to indent each paragraph 5 spaces. So the second part is the in-text citation. So there's a specific format for doing in-text citation. So when you pull a quote directly from a source, so let's see. Okay, and I'm just completely pulling something, out of there. But so we have our quote. Okay, and then when you give a quote, you need to cite our sources. Okay, so the in-text citation, the part that comes right after the quote, there are 2 things that go in an MLA in-text citation: author's last name, page number. Assuming it's a novel, okay, if it's a poem or something, that's a different story, but right now we'll talk about novels. So it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Okay, my in-text citation, author last name, and page number. Don't quote me on this. Page 500. Now, note that there is no comma. Okay? That's a lot of students will put a comma there, or sometimes you see PG, page, things like that. Just keep it simple. Okay? MLA and text citation format, last name, page number, boom, you're done. Okay? The third element to an MLA formatted document is the works cited page. Now, to do this, I've found that what I like to do, so say I'm still writing my paper, okay? What I'll do is, if I'm writing up here, okay, this is where I'm writing, right? So I'm going to hit enter a few times, give myself some space, and what I'm going to do is insert, go down to break, and I'm going to insert a page break. And it's telling me, apparently I could have just hit Control Enter. So if you're a fan of doing things the easy way or the efficient way, just hit Control Enter. Alright, so page break. Now, what this will do, a few things. Number 1, I can see that I inserted my page numbers correctly because this says Simpson 2. Remember, Simpson's my last name. That's where the last name of the student. So I see Simpson 1, Simpson 2. Now, if you don't insert the page number, what you're going to get is whatever you see on that first page is just going to carry over. Simpson 1, it's going to say Simpson 1 again. So, by inserting that page break, I can see that, alright, great, it went to Simpson 2, my header is formatted correctly. Also, a works cited page in MLA format needs to start on its own page. So, even if I ended my essay at the top of a page. Okay, we're still going all the way to that next page to put our works cited. Okay, the works cited page, we're going to center a line just like we did with the title. We're going to write works cited. And again, not italicize, underline anything, just plain text, Times New Roman, size 12. So again, I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to left align. So using the quote that we had earlier in our example, so Dickens, Charles, now everything in a works cited entry gets punctuated. Okay, you'll see what I mean. So you're going to put Dickens, comma, Charles, period. Okay? Space. So with shorter works, so if we were citing a poem, an article, something like that, we would place quotations around it. Okay, so if we were doing Edgar Allan Poe, it would be The Raven. Okay? But for longer works, such as novels, we italicize those. Okay, so Control-I, Tale of Two Cities. And again, period. Remember, everything is punctuated. Now, we don't always have as much information as we would like when entering works cited entries. A typical rule of thumb is give as much information as you have. Okay, so Charles Dickens, Tale of Two Cities, maybe we know the publisher, maybe we know the year it was published, maybe we know the exact day. If we know the exact day, great. If we know the just the year, then we enter just the year. And I should know this, but I don't want to totally give you, okay, so we'll say 1860. All right, so we're just going to go with 1860. Say we don't know the actual day, we just know the year. And then finally, we're going to put the medium that we're quoting. So is this, do we have a physical copy? Is this print? Okay, then we states that it's print. If it's online, PDF or something, then we do that. Okay. Now, say we have more than one source to cite. You enter the next source alphabetical by author last name. So we're doing Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, then that would come after Dickens, comma, Charles. So we've talked about the basic formatting, in-text citations, and then the works cited page. There's more to it than that. When you get into a lot of entries in your works cited, you have hanging indents. You have different ways of citing different sources, whether it's a newspaper article, a film, things like that. But this video hopefully gave you at least a good foundation and handle on the basics of formatting in MLA.